Hi guys, it's Lanikia. I am back because the Handmaid's Tale is back. Handmaid's Tale, which premiered today on Hulu. So if you don't have Hulu, that's where you can watch it. And it's a really good show. I was afraid to go into this season only because it was so good last season and it raked up so a few awards. This past award season that how sometimes a show will be really good and then it'll get nominations, it'll win some awards, and then it'll just kind of change. So I was kind of like, I don't know if it's gonna, what are they gonna do? Because it was kind of one of those shows where it just caught on every week. It seemed like people were more and more people were speaking on about it or whatever, or talking about it. But anyways, so it was a long time, but we are finally back with a new season of The Handmaid's Tale, and we start out. They actually dropped 2 episodes. This is going to be over season 2, episode 1, called June. And I'm not gonna do 2, or I might just tag 2 on, because 2 to me wasn't really that meaty, as far as the June story, her storyline. So I might do a separate one, and I might just, I don't know. We'll see how this video goes, but. So it starts off, and congratulations to the Handmaid's Tale and all those awards and everything. So it starts off with June. She's in the van because remember last season they refused to stone, I think her name was I don't remember her name, but in it, Janine. They refused to stone her. So this season it starts off with her being in the van, and she doesn't know if where she's going is good or bad. All she knows is that Nick told her to go and to just trust him or whatever. So she's going and she's trusting him, and so then what happens is she gets out of the van, which June was in a whole van by herself. But anyways, I won't even go there. But I was just like, why is she in the van by herself? And all these other handmaids were in, it was a lot of them in their van. But whatever. I guess whatever. So anyways, when she gets out of her van, she sees all of the handmaids that refused to stone him, which I believe was all of them, were all taken to Fenway Park. So they're all in Fenway Park. There's the men, there's the dogs, there's all of them there. And then they get lined, and then June looks up and she sees the noose, which as a black woman I wasn't really feeling this scene at all. But there was a noose for each woman, and then Aunt Lydia comes out or whatever. So they line each woman up, they put her neck in the noose and everything, and they think they're about to hang, but then they don't. And then Aunt Lydia comes out to tell the women, like, this is just to show you, like, you need to obey, because this is what will happen to you if you do not obey us or whatever. So then they flash back, and was anybody else feeling like, I don't really care about the flashbacks anymore, like, keep me present on what's going on, like, you should have flashed back all we needed to know last season? Maybe that's just me. I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't feeling the flashbacks on this episode, but maybe I just need to get back into the swing of The Handmaid's Tale again. But anyway, so they flash back, and June is telling her husband she's thinking about getting she needs his signature. So now they're being controlled by completely by, I guess, that new form of government. So her husband has to sign off on her birth control so that she can get it refilled, but we find out that they were actually thinking about not getting it refilled because they were wanting to have another baby. Then we go back to her reality. So they're outside. It's rain. It's pouring rain. They're on their knees on like this. I guess was it concrete? It was like cement or something, gravel, and they have their hands, one arm held out with and they're holding that stone. And Aunt Lydia, is preaching like Bible verse. They're doing the Bible verses and everything, and she's just pretty much telling them. She's just trying to brainwash them into obeying. All you have to do is be, have the children, and you have a good life or whatever. I mean, minus the fact that they were sex slaves, but I guess it was okay. Um, so then a woman comes to Aunt Lydia and she lets Aunt Lydia know that Fred is pregnant, or June is pregnant. So of course they're like, and mind you, they're electrocuting these women while it's raining as well, like as further punishment. And some of these women are looking like they're about to like just kill over, like they're just gonna drop over. Um, so then they find out she's pregnant, and they're like, they're so happy and everything that she's pregnant. And Aunt Lydia confuses me because when she went to ring the bell, she paused. And then she opened it, and I was like, is she happy? Is she sad? Like, is she completely with this, or does she have a small part of her conscience that still thinks maybe this is wrong? I don't know, but that's Aunt Lydia. But then it's like she's so evil that I'm like, I don't know. Y'all tell me. Um, so now they're taking care of June because they found out she's pregnant. So they're setting her up with warm soup and bread and milk and all of that kind of stuff. And June is refusing to eat. So Aunt Lydia is pretty much telling June, you think your little rebellion that you started helped these ladies. You just made their life worse. Like, Janine is now in the colonies. Like, she could have died quickly. Now she's going to be in the colonies, and she's going to die a slow, painful death, because they're going to go to the colonies later on in the next episode, I think. And that is not cute, what they have them doing in the colonies. But anyways, so then June is refusing to eat, so Aunt Lydia was like, okay, well, let's go for a walk then. And also she told her the girls are going to suffer as well. Like, all these women that you helped in your rebellion are going to suffer as well. Y'all, my husband got a dog, and she's a house dog, so she's in her playpen right now. So if you hear her, like, the whining and stuff, it's because for some reason she wants to get out, even though at this time of night, every night, she knows this is bedtime. But I guess because I'm up doing this video, she's like, let me out. Anyways, sorry. So she's telling her the women are going to suffer because of you. Like, and you don't get to do any of this punishment because you're pregnant. So everything they're going to suffer because you started this, you don't have to participate in, because you have an out because you're pregnant, and they don't want to do anything that would hurt that child. So she said, let's take a walk. So they go for a walk, and on their walk they stop, which was the whole point of this walk. They find this girl that's there, and she is standing up, and she's changed. She's really pregnant, so she's been down there a while, and she's changed because she refused. She was like June, defiant. And so she's all chained up and everything, and she looks hard. Like, it looks like, I thought y'all wanted to save the babies, y'all. It looks like she's in she looks horrible. She looks like she's been tortured or something. And so when June sees this, she goes back upstairs and she starts eating. And then they line all of the girls in while June is eating. And I don't know what they cut off, y'all. They line all of the women in, and they take of Robert, I want to say, in first. Oh, girl, I am skipping. Oh, I just skipped all over. Okay, look, so we're gonna go back. Oh, no, I'm not. So they take of Robert in, and I don't know what they cut off, y'all, because I had to fast forward. That is not I can't watch stuff like that. So I know, was it a finger or hand? Somebody tell me in the comments. But I can't personally watch that kind of stuff, so I had to fast forward through that. So yeah, let me know. So then they flash forward back to the university, where the June was working, and her daughter got sick, and they couldn't reach June, so they took her to the hospital. She had a 101 fever, and I guess because they weren't able to have children, they were like, listen, like, we took her immediately to the University Children's Hospital because we don't like. I guess because she's a girl, they don't want anything happening to her, and they don't want her making the other children sick as well. But the woman, she seemed really nice, but then she turned into being like, you could tell she worked for the commander and all of them, like in that regime, because she was pretty much telling June like, we're gonna take your daughter if you do this again where you don't want to miss work, so you just give her a Tylenol so you can go ahead and go to work or whatever. Normal stuff that parents do that all the time. They, their children might be have a slight tip, and they'll give them a Tylenol just to get it down or whatever and send them on to school. But I kind of would see, I don't, we live in a world where you don't get threatened because of that. But yeah, I've had a few people had to call it, be like, I gotta go. My child was sick this morning, but hopefully I can make it the full day of work. And usually they never make it the full day of work. Their child ends up having to come home. So anyways, what they were pretty much telling June was like, if your child is sick, you're gonna need to go ahead and miss work, you or your husband, or what, like you said you would do, and not send them with a Tylenol to get the fever down. And so then then it goes back to reality, and it shows Mrs. Waterford. June is in the hospital, and she's getting her first, I guess, checkup. And Mrs. Waterford comes in to visit June. And of course, she always got to do her, oh, is everything, you're done trying to be, all your little gang, trying to get away and all that kind of stuff. And June was like, you shouldn't get upset. It's going to upset the baby. Because you know how the women like to pretend like they're the ones pregnant. Just the weirdest stuff. We saw that last season. So anyways, they do the checkup, and they're pretty much, they show Mr. and Mrs. Waterford, June is only 5 weeks pregnant. So you can't really see anything, or, they don't know the sex or anything like that, but they just see, like, I guess a little dot or something that they're saying, oh, that's your baby or whatever. And the Waterfords are like really so happy, and they're crying, and they're so happy and all that. And I'm like, but you're stealing someone's baby. So, and what's so messed up, you made her a surrogate, and she didn't even want to be one. Like, you forced her to be a surrogate or whatever, and you're sitting there rejoicing while she's on the table, and you're stealing her baby. That's pretty much what you're doing, because it's her and Nick's baby. So then everyone was leaving out or whatever, and then I guess the black man was a nurse, so they're saying the praise being or whatever, and he calls her by her name. And so I was like, oh, I wonder what he did. So then June goes to sit down, put on her robe and all that kind of stuff, and there was a key in her shoe. And so she goes, it had a little red dot on it, so she goes and she finds that the door has a red dot on it. So she opens the door, and then they just show her going through the series following the little red dots, and it leads to a meat locker truck. So she gets in the truck, they close that door, and they're off. So you're like, where's June going? And then they show Mr. Waterford, like, he's trying to take control of, I guess, some commands or something. And they show Serena, and they're all sad and depressed because June is on the lam with the baby. And they were like, oh, we're so close to having our baby. So then they flash back, and June is putting her daughter to bed or whatever, and they're showing like everything going down with the Capitol, like the White House being under attack, everything's going down with the Capitol and everything. So we see that happen. And then, y'all, so then finally, they go forward, and June is back in the van or whatever, and they show that she gets out of the meat locker, and the man was really nice. He was like, you're at your destination. Someone will come and take care of you or whatever. Don't open the door for anyone else. They'll come and take care of you. And then so she goes with the man. Hershey kisses. Hershey's. So she goes with the man. She gives him a hug or whatever, and he leaves. And then you see Nick. Y'all, I could not remember his name. And then the whole show, I was like, who's the baby? Who's the baby's dad? And then when I saw him, I was like, Nick. And I was like, oh, I remember his name now. Anyways, so Nick is there, and so um he pretty much is telling her, someone else is gonna come to be here for you. Go ahead and take off your clothes. Because they have other clothes and everything there. He has for her, so she's burning off her. She takes off her clothes and everything, and I guess Nick leaves. I don't know what happens to him. So then she takes off her clothes, and she realized, it's the first time that she's ever like took off her clothes and got back in civilian like clothes, like in freedom or whatever. And I think on like the last episode or the episode before last, they showed where they had branded them. So whatever it was in her ear, she cut that off. She cut her ear to get that off or whatever. And so June is free. We find out she's 34. She's 5 weeks pregnant. I think she said she was like 5'2", 5'3", or something like that. And she's finally has freedom in this abandoned building that Nick has set her up in. And so that was the season 1, episode 1 of The Handmaid's Tale with June. So you guys tell me did you like it? Were you into it? I don't know. I liked that episode. And then it went right into season 2 because I have Hulu. So I went right into season 2. I keep saying that because I used to watch it last year on I can't even think of what it was called. But anyways, so I don't know. I don't know about this season. It's okay for me. Hershey's Kisses. Stop. It's okay for me, but I don't know if I'm gonna enjoy it as much as the last season. And I find that always happens. Cause I watched the second episode. I'm not gonna do a review now on it, but I'm gonna do it probably tomorrow. Cause I'm it's gotten late. But I watched the second episode and I liked it, but I wasn't really that into it. So hopefully it gets better for me. I'm gonna still do reviews over it because I love this show. I'm just not as into it. Maybe it took so long for season 1 to season 2, and that's what happened. I don't know. But anyways, I need to wash my hair. I got an event to go to tomorrow, and I need to do a work from home video tomorrow. Have a great night. Bye.